The King of Glory comes, the nation rejoices. Open the gates before him, lift up your voices. He gives his life for us, the King of salvation.
Welcome to Early Morning Catechism. We are going to continue our study of the rite of Christian initiation of adults. And we are in the midst of Lent, and we are going to talk today about the period of the Enlightenment. The period of the Enlightenment begins with the rite of election, which is always held on the first Sunday of Lent. At Mass on that Sunday, we celebrate something called the rite of sending. And during that rite, the catechumens, but also the candidates, can come up and sign their names in this book of the elect. Here is the book from our parish, and you can see that our people coming into the church signed the book this year. But the actual rite of election takes place at a later time in the day, usually in the afternoon, at a church in the city where the cathedral is. For us, it's Green Bay, and the biggest church in the area is Our Lady of Lourdes in De Pere, so that's where the rite was celebrated this year. It's a rite when the candidates and catechumens from the entire diocese come together. Their names are now publicly announced, and the bishop signs the book. And so here you can see Bishop David Ricken's signature. And after the catechumens are announced, then all of the candidates are announced by the director of the RCIA from their parish. The candidates are announced. The bishop does not need to sign the book now because he has already signed it, and they do not stand at the baptismal font because they have already been baptized. It's a beautiful ceremony where the scriptures are read in 3 different languages, and the people coming into the church get a realization that church is much, much, much bigger than the parish where they have been attending. The period of enlightenment is the season of Lent. And during that time, the same thing goes on in church every Sunday. They are dismissed after the homily. Only this time the question is not, what are you learning about Jesus, about God, about the church, but what's happening inside? How are you feeling? Are you feeling the call to come into the church? Are you falling deeper in love with Jesus? What is your feeling and attitude toward the church? What's your desire? And so, at least during the Mass where these people are present, the readings that should be done are the great baptismal stories from the Gospel of John. So on the 3rd Sunday of Lent, the Gospel would be the woman at the well. What are you thirsting for? What are you longing for? The 4th Sunday of Lent, the man born blind. What do you need to see? How can the Lord open your eyes to see more clearly? And then the 5th Sunday of Lent, the story of the raising of Lazarus. How will it be to be a member of the church and to have new life? What more do you want for life? What will the meaning and purpose of your life be? And on these 3 Sundays, for the catechumens, we do the scrutinies, which means that after the homily, in addition to being sent forth, the dismissal rite, special prayers are prayed for these people, basically for the grace to turn away from sin and to be faithful to the gospel. Well, by the way, that could be a prayer that was said to us when we were signed with the ashes on Ash Wednesday. So we too need to ask, what's my desire? How do I want a deeper life? What am I thirsting for? How will I turn away from sin and be faithful to the gospel? And so during this time of enlightenment, the excitement grows as these people prepare to enter the sacraments of initiation at the Easter Vigil.
Rejoices, open the gates before him, lift up your voices.